level on the outside. He'll look at trying to go around the outside, maybe, because there aren't too many laps left. This time on the inside, McCowart's gone out just a little bit wider. Sullivan stuck through. He's got that car through now into second place. They're a long way from Spider McCarthy, but every position up they go means a few more points, and they're going back the other way again now. That third place car going back up there on Sullivan. They sort of keep you pretty well occupied here. Then it's a long way back. Look how far McCarthy is up there. McCowart back in third place. Dave Redmond actually hanging on to these fellows this time. Dave's been a bit off the pace too. Brian Hayden a little bit further back. Keep an eye on Sullivan and McCowart going down the far side. They've opened up a bit more of a gap. Spider McCarthy is almost exactly half a lap in front of them and getting very close down to Greg Storer. Still Sullivan in second place, McCowart. Dave Redmond wants to pick up a few more points because he didn't do all that well last night. He'd like to have a few top three finishes, or a couple of them tonight at least, to get himself up there into the final. One lap left to go, and you'd think Spider McCarthy could almost change back a gear now and still cruise home to a great win. In fact, this is very good for Spider, this win, as we have another change in positions almost, because it means it doesn't really matter what happens to Spider in the last heat. He's going to be well up there with the first half dozen or so cars, and he's about to pass Storer right across the line. Spider McCarthy, the Mildura driver, first place. The Leighton fellow, Wayne Sullivan coming in now, 73 on the roof, and we've still got a battle back here between McCowart, and then it's Dave Redmond, Brian Hayden, and the last car there is, I've lost him, Phil McCaleb in car number 30.
Okay, we've got to start. And look at Millsy, pedal down hard straight away. This guy around the outside, car number 57, he's no slouch, so Terry King will go back to our leader. Darren Cockrell leads away. Graham West in second position. Then a little further back then, we've got Trevor Mills. A little further back then, car number 5, Terry King. Marie Peden giving a little nudge on the inside there. She's not real happy. Rod Brady, car number 9, Dean Sparrow. Go back to the forward of Norm Fisher. Chrissy Waters there slipping through in a couple of places. Jeremy McClure, and right down the rear of the field we've got, which was this guy? We lost him. We'll pick him up on the way past. Brendan O'Connor. We'll go back to our leader now, and the leader's changed. It's Graham West in the little Tirana. He slipped through into the lead and back in second spot, but right on his back hammer is Trevor Mills. Watch this guy if he gets out in front, because they'll have a hell of a job running him down. A little bit further back then we've got Cockrell. Go back to King, Peden. Oh, look at this around the outside. Marie's been knocked back by Brady there. Car number 9, Dean Sparrow, also in there with a bit of a run. Rod Brady. Oh, we've got one all over the place over here. Car number 5, King, he's all over the place. Terry King will go back with our leader now, and the lead is ready to change again. Tell you what, Westy, I wouldn't give Millsy a look in the inside like that, because he'll take every chance he can get. And here he goes around just on the inside of the pole line. Out he goes now. Graham West still leads the race as he goes into turn number 3. But we've got Trevor Mills right on the back of him, all over the place here. And I'll tell you what, if he had a revision mirror in this little Tirana, he'd be worrying right now. Millsy back in second. Go a little bit further back then to Cockrell. Brady, Peden, further back to, Norm Fisher in the Ford. We'll leave these guys down the rear of the field now, as we've got a bit of a dice up in front here, and there's a dice between the cars for 4th and 5th position. Peden and Brady, these little cars, little black cars, are all over the place here. We'll go back with our leader. Graham West leads away still, and he's doing a fantastic job indeed to hold out Millsy, because Millsy's all over the back of him. He's got more power, and he's got unbelievable handling, this guy. Trevor Mills back in second spot. Then we've got Cockrell back in third. Brady and Peden there. Oh, a little nudge in the side. Marie almost gets sideways. Here we go down the back straight. Millsy's got a chance and he takes it. Trevor Mills leads the way now out of turn number 4, but Westy's not going to give up. Graham West on the inside has a little look down the inside of Millsy. We go back to Cockrell, Peden, Brady. Further back then to car number 19, which is Sparrow. Chris Waters moving up there. Rod Brady and... Not Rod Brady, car number 9, Sparrow just in front of him. A little bit further back to McClure, who's picked up a couple of spots. We're on the last lap now. Millsy only got 3/4 of a lap to go. Not a lap far, and this will put him even further in front if he can win this one. Millsy still leads the way down the back straight now. Trevor Mills comes into turn number 3 for the last time in this heat. Comes around out of turn number 4. Takes it out. Trevor Mills in first spot. Graham West, Darren Cockrell, Marie Peden, Rod Brady, Dean Sparrow, Chris Waters.
McClure, I'm not sure how many laps at this stage, but a consolation final for those that didn't make it. Ready for a start. Greg Walling should leap to the start pretty early, but the little Tirana's going to make him keep him honest. And let's have a look at the Falcon back in third place. The local driver there, Paul Sheen, who's done so very well this weekend. But out in front it is Walling, as we fully expected. Gill, we've got Mouldy Calderwood a little bit further back. Russell Brown still in midfield. Kearney Thompson moving up there with him. The little Rotary Mazda of Holt. We won't worry about the others. Yes, Paul Salou trying to move through there as well. But we will go back with the leading cars because they're the ones that matter, and they're the fellas who are going to be here later on tonight. It's still Walling from Lismore, opening up a good lead out in front as the Tirana went up just a little bit high there of Darren Gill from Bendigo. Paul Sheen, maybe Paul's taking a little bit easier tonight. He's got a few car lengths between him and the others, and he's got Ian Mouldy Calderwood right on his tail with Kearney Thompson. And then we've got Paul Salou in there. A little further back, we've got Ricky Clark, and they did make up some ground fairly quickly. Ray Cornwall has dropped right back to last place behind the little Rotary Mazda. Going through the Deacon Avenue corner once again, and watch this car of Rawlings. It's going to be right up there at the end of the night. It's going very well. So's his dad's car. Darren Gill a little further back. No great changes there at the moment. Paul Sheen, in fact, put on some slick tyres on that car last night, completely in reverse to what Chris Waters has been doing lately. And then the last lap when he came out, he leaned the motor off a little bit, and the car absolutely flew. We're going to have some action a little further back there in the field with Calderwood. Salou trying to get through. Clark also. Russell Brown just hanging on to the end of them. We certainly won't worry about the cars that are a little further back. I think a lot of the action's going to come between those cars back there in 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th positions. Calderwood now entering the Deacon Avenue turn, but he's got a lot of pressure as it's still Paul Salou right on the tail trying to get through, and Ricky Clark a little further back. Well, they have spread themselves out fairly well this time, the A modifieds, and those cars up the front there getting in a little bit of practice on the track as Holt moved up a little bit high there deliberately to get out of the way of these other cars because he knows that they're going a whole lot quicker than him. It's Gregory Walling still going. Yes, I think that was just the passing flag being waved there. In fact, I think the second place car has closed the gap up, but it seems to open up again, going down past the Swamp Cafe on the other side of the track into the Deacon Avenue turn. Greg Walling, he holds a beautiful line. In fact, the other day we thought they were on like slot cars, and was that Paul Sheen has been passed. Paul Sheen looks to be dropping back a little bit. Kearney Thompson from Bendigo has just moved past Paul Sheen. That puts Sheen back into 4th place. And I'm watching Paul Salou, the Swan Hill driver too, races here regularly. He's trying to move up now on Ian Mouldy Calderwood. Can he get through and pick up another position? Because I think Paul Salou will be in the final as well. Just got through on the inside, but hasn't quite got the toe to take over that position at this stage. Past the knick-knack shack, past the pit gates, and he's dropped back. This time Salou's got the nose in front as Calderwood went up just a little bit too high. He's picked himself up a position. There's our last car and our first car going past with 1 lap left to go. And by gee, has Greg Walling opened up a big lead now. He may get slowed down a little bit by Ray Cornwall as he has to go past, but I don't think it's going to worry him terribly much because that little Tirana of Darren Gills is a long way back, and Kearney Thompson is back there in 3rd place. Paul Sheen a little further back. There goes our winner for this particular heat. Then it's Gill, Kearney Thompson, Paul Sheen, Paul Salou, Mouldy Calderwood, Ricky Clark, and Russell Brown. And I think we've still got one coming somewhere. The little Mazda. A lot further.
Experience out there, been racing for a long time. Let's see Chris Overall how he goes with all these quick guys behind him as they come around now. We've got to start. And look at Martin Hawson. He splits them right down the centre. Martin Hawson, he's back in 2nd spot now. Seville leads. Hawson back in 2nd. We go a little further back then to Watson. Max Carlin on the inside of him. He moves up into 3rd position now. We go back to the big Ford of... we'll go back with our leader now. We lost them for a second. Seville leads the way now. Martin Hawson still back in 2nd spot. Then we've got Max Carlin, Neil Watson. A little bit further back to the big Ford of Brendan Densley. Further back then to Bob Walling, Atkins, Robotham, and Chris Overall quickly relegated back into last position. These guys are running a little bit quick for him. And David Seville still leads the way now as they come out of turn number 2. Down the back straight, David Seville leads into turn number 3. But Martin Hawson not that far behind in 2nd spot. Oh, Max Carlin gets all over the place, loses a spot. Neil Watson says, I'll pick up 3rd spot here. I'm pretty happy with that. Max Carlin still sits in 4th position. Then we go to Brendan Densley in the big yellow Ford. Bob Walling still a long way back. I would have expected him to move up by now. Greg Atkins back there with him. Brett Robotham back there as well, and Chris Overall still at the rear of the field. As we go back with our leader now, as he goes into turn number 1, another lap down for David Seville. He leads the way out of turn number 2 now, down the back straight. Martin Hawson still in hot pursuit in second spot. Then we go back to Neil Watson, Max Carlin, Brendan Densley. Bit of a battle now for these other minor positions back here between Walling and Atkins shuts the door. He runs him out of a position there, and Robotham not a lap far behind, and still Overall down the rear of the field. We'll go back with our leader now as he turns into turn number 3. He'll come out of turn number 4. It's a wonderful, clean race, this one. Not too much bumping and shoving going on out there. And David Seville leads the way past the judge's box one more time. He leads the way now into turn number 2, and he'll lead the way out of turn number 2. Down the back straight, David Seville leading the race now. Bit of movement from the rear of the field down there. Martin Hawson still in second position. Then we got Neil Watson, Max Carlin. A little bit further back to Brendan Densley. Greg Atkins, a bit of smoke out of the back of Brendan Densley's car then. Bob Walling, Brett Robotham, and still at the rear of the field is Chris Overall. We go back to our leader now as he leads away into turn number 3. Watch him now. He's got a wonderful line, this guy, holding the car on the track. Fantastic. He's picked up since last night. Went well last night, but going even better again tonight. David Seville, look at these guys back there further. There's a big bustle going on. We'll go back now. We'll run through our leaders because Martin Hawson's being challenged. And look out. What did I tell you? If Neil Watson saw a bit of a hole, he'd make it a lot bigger hole. They've climbed the pole line now. Didn't pick up his position though. Martin held him out. And matter of fact, I think he's lost one to Max Carlin. We're on the last lap now. And David Seville leads the way down the back straight as he goes into turn number 3. Martin Hawson still sitting back there in second spot. And Max Carlin, he's improved from last night. Max has found another gear and David Seville takes it out. Martin Hawson in second spot. Neil Watson in third. Max Carlin. Then we go back to Brendan Densley. Greg Atkins, a little bit further back to Bob Walling, finishing a long way down the list there. Brett Robotham, and in last position, Chris Overall.
For a start next time around, the green flag is up. Is it young Freddie down there? Got the green flag out, ready for them to go. Watch the fellows at the back of the field. We've got a start, and it's McAuliffe on the outside. A good start, though, on the inside by the Swan Hill driver. Paul Salou, a couple of them going out wide. Brady going through on the inside. Watson looking for a hole there. Look at the two cars at the back. Walling's moved up. One of them's dropped out. That's West, in fact, has dropped out a little bit already. This field won't spread out because we've got the quickest cars at the back, except for that fellow out in front, Paul Salou. West trying to catch up with him. Calderwood sticking with Walling and McCarthy there, and Walling and McCarthy will be looking at, actually Spider McCarthy probably won't try to do too much here if it's going to be too difficult, because he's already right up there. They do drop their worst point score out of the 5 heats, so he doesn't have to do anything silly as Rod Brady come down on top of the car inside. That was Phil McAuliffe causing a little bit of trouble. And Walling, he certainly wants to start on pole in the final because he's out after the leaders. He wants to pick up some placings. And Walling and Spider McCarthy side by side as they try and pick up McAuliffe. And on the inside of Neil Watson from Ballarat, they're going to pick up a position through the Deakin Avenue corner. And I think Walling backed off a little bit then and caught Spider McCarthy behind him. The leading cars are out there a fair way with Salute from Swan Hill and Brady now from Adelaide in second place. McAuliffe a little further back looking to move up into second place on the inside of Rod Brady, and he's going to do it maybe down the back straight this time. Got the nose in front. He's on the inside going through the Deakin Avenue corner. Oh, Brady came down on the pole line very suddenly. He's maintained his second place. Have a look at the two fellas back there in fourth and fifth. They're just looking for a little bit of a hole. Those two fellows don't want to damage their cars. They will need them later on tonight for the big race as Gregory Walling gets the nose up inside Phil McAuliffe. He's about to go through. Spider McCarthy looking for a way around the outside. And, of course, you can use the whole track here nowadays since we put the clay in it. McCarthy right on the outside. He's picked up Walling, but can he get the nose in front? He is hoping, of course, that Walling gets boxed in behind Phil McAuliffe, and that has happened. Spider McCarthy now up in the fourth place. We've forgotten about Paul Salou there for a little while. He's so far out in front. McCarthy looking to pick up a couple more placings through the Deakin Avenue corner. Rod Brady, the ex-Broken Hill driver, a little bit untidy. Oh, Walling has moved up there in that batch with him. This time McCarthy still on the outside. I told you they'd bunch up a fair bit. McCarthy will try and pick them up going down the straight. Walling has decided to go out there and chase him into the Deakin Avenue corner. He thought Spider McCarthy knows the way around this track, so I'll just follow him. Spider's almost got a car between the two of them. Spider, in fact, probably would like a first here. He wants to relegate Walling a little bit so he can get off pole position. Although if you start off either of those first two, it won't make a lot of difference. And Spider McCarthy now picks up the other two cars past Phil McAuliffe. and also Rod Brady as they get into a little bit of trouble. McCarthy up into second place, and that's all side by side as they go down there. Walling also has got past Brady. It's been a tremendous race, this one. If you forget about our Swan Hill driver way out there in front. Now past the Swamp Cafe. Oh, Walling went up high, almost took McCarthy to the fence. Rod Brady picked him up as he came off the fence. 1 lap left to go for the leading car. Paul Salou, he'll love this. Spider McCarthy in second place. The Gregory Walling, Rod Brady, Phil McCullough, West, Neil Watson, and Ian Mouldy Calderwood right back there at the rear of the field. Well, Paul Salou, the Swan Hill driver, is going to be pretty happy. This gives him 36 points to add to his tally as he comes down the main straight now. Give him a hand. It's a great drive by Paul. Peter McCarthy in second place, and Gregory Walling in third. Rod Brady, Phil McCullough, Graham West. On the inside, Neil Watson and Ian Calderwood. Well, we knew that would be a great event with those two fellas starting at the rear of the field. A little bit of an incident on the other side there when Walling sort of went out very, very wide. And
Chris Waters on pole. Give him a cheer, Mildura. Come on. Chris Waters, the current South Australian number 1, leads the way now into turn number 1. He'll straighten up out of turn number 2. He leads the way now over Norm Fisher, who's back in second spot. Then we go back to Wayne Sullivan a little bit further. Martin Hawson. We'll go back with our leader now. Look at the cars bunching up. They're all over the place here. Let's see what comes out of turn number 1. As we go out of turn number 1 now, everything still looks okay. Chris Waters leads the way now down the back straight as he turns into turn number 3. Chris Waters leading the way. Norm Fisher back in second position. Then a little further back then we've got Sullivan, Hawson. Sullivan around the outside of Hawson. We've got King, Redman. Greg Storer not going too bad indeed. Going very well out there. Mal Holt, he's mixing it up this time with the guys. Wayne Sullivan out there as well. We'll go back with our leader now. We'll let these back guys fight it out unless we get in some action, because there's action aplenty here in these first 4 cars. Chris Waters is starting to get a good little lead now on the rest of them. Then back in second spot we've got Norm Fisher, but not for long, because here comes Wayne Sullivan. Sullivan slips her into second spot now. Put Fisher back to third, but Martin Hawson's going to have a go at him, and Fisher's gone out wide, lost a few spots. Hawson tries to pick Sullivan up on the inside, but doesn't do it. Sullivan still in second. Hawson. Then we've got Terry King. Go further back then to Norm Fisher. Even further back again to Dave Redmond, but we'll leave these guys there right down the rear of the field and a long way away. Cockrell trying to make his way up, but he's got too many cars between him and the leader. He's out for good this time. We go around now out of turn number 2, and it's still Martin Hawson from Mildura leading the way. Current South Australia number 1. Back in second position, we've got Wayne Sullivan in car number 15. Martin Hawson. So we've got position number 1 and position number 3 for Mildura right at this time. Terry King back in 4th. Dave Redmond. Fisher around the outside of him. I think he'll lose a spot there. We go back to Greg Storer. A little bit further once again back to Darren Cockrell there he's having a little dice with Storer. Cockrell and Storer, you wouldn't think Storer would hold Cockrell out, but he has for a couple of laps now. We'll forget the other guys down the rear of the field because they're a long way back. Actually, Mel Holt, if there's too many laps to go, you'll be lapped. He's gone out wide. I think he's getting used to being lapped. He takes that wide line because he knows what's going to happen, because here comes Chris Waters in the NZ Ford. The EA Ford Falcon, current South Australia number 1, leads the way out of turn number 2 now. But still, Wayne Sullivan, still back in second position, but Martin Hawson's made a car length or so on him in the last lap. He's closed the gap now. Martin Hawson's going to try to take Sullivan. Has a little look down the inside, but not quite enough horsepower. We've got 1 lap left to go. Still, Chris Waters leads the way. Look at Hawson and Sullivan going at it back here. Hawson has a look down the inside, but not quite enough horsepower. Can't make the gap. Can he do it on this turn here? Chris Waters takes it out. Come on, Martin. Show us some light. Sullivan in second. Hawson in third. King in 4th. Then we go back to Redmond. Further back to Fisher. Storer. Cockrell. Well, there you go, Greg. You beat a good guy there. Brendan O'Connor.
Clark out in front, and Clark's already got away. He'll have a pretty good start. They've got the green light. Hayden on the outside. Jeremy McClure on the inside. Densley in there through the pit corner for the first time, spreading out a little bit. I see that little Tirana of Gill sliding a little bit further back through the field. Dean Sparrow back there as well. Max Carlin picking up room already. A nudge there from Hayden, I think, a little bit too fast behind that car in front of Jeremy McClure, who's doing pretty well at this stage. Densley still hanging in there with the leading cars, and just keep an eye on the Hamilton driver, Hayden, in third place. He's trying to make up a little bit of position, but Ricky Clark, they told us this bloke was pretty good, and he hasn't really stood out this weekend, but going very well. I think once he's out in front there, he's going to be hard to toss. The Cobar driver, McClure, ex-Broken Hill, Brian Hayden a little further behind him, then it's Densley, then Max Carlin, and I won't say we'll forget the rest because they are all pretty close, and we'll keep an eye out there for Paul Sheen as he's just going through on the inside of Darren Gill now, trying to pick up a place, but Paul's got a lot of hard work to do to get through all of these other drivers, particularly as the leading driver of Danny Clark, Jeremy McClure, Hayden and company are opening up that gap all the time. They're certainly moving up to a good lead now down the back straight. He's a long way in front, is Clark. I don't think he'll get caught. McClure going pretty well, and they were fairly relieved when they sniffed the smoke last night and realised that it was gearbox oil that they could smell. The real battle is going on from third back. We've got Brian Hayden there in third, Densley, Max Carlin, Dean Sparrow, I think it was, down there as well. Paul Sheen having trouble getting through the field. We sometimes get the two Pauls mixed up, particularly the way their cars look these days. Paul Sheen and Paul Salou, who are regulars here at Mildura. The two leading cars still doing it very well. I'm looking for changes a little further back in the field. Hayden's still doing it comfortably. Who else haven't we mentioned back there? Gill is also there, and Seville must be back there with them too, about second last of that bunch. I'm not sure, is he a little further up? No, about third last there at the moment. Sparrow just going into the Deacon Avenue corner behind the other fellows and looking to pick up a place. Hayden, in fact, is in trouble. He's gone out very wide. That's enabled Densley, I think it was, to go through. Sparrow and Paul Sheen having a bit of a battle further back. And those fellas, there's a big welt in the front of the bonnet of Hayden's car, so that might have been when he pulled up suddenly behind the driver before. But those fellas still having a dice behind there as the two leading. Oh, we've lost one. Is he going to go over? No.
Seville.
David Seville,
no,
that
Seville's
was.
there. No. Dean Sparrow, I think it was.
No, Sparrow's just, no, 74 Hayden. It might have been Sparrow. This is, what, John, it must be about the second last heat of the title. And we're getting through them pretty quickly tonight too. Right around the Witch's Hat on the other side. I forgot to mention that this time for a start. And no big changes out there in the leaders. It might have bunched these other fellows up. Just brought them up a little bit close to the leaders, but still out in front. It's Ricky Clark leading from Jeremy McClure, and his brother Lockie's down there giving him a hand this weekend as well. In fact, Lockie's old car is the one with 66 on the top, driven by Brett Robotham this weekend. Got through that corner all right. Densley down there. Hayden, Carlin, Sheen, Seville, Gill. Still no major changes. Now we might get some as Paul Sheen trying to move through on the inside. Got the nose up. He's going to pick up Brian Hayden, who maybe is in a little bit of a problem since that bonnet damage he's got there. There may be some other damage as well. Still sticking with him, but not right out in front. Max Carlin getting in the way of Paul Sheen. Sheen, he would like to pick up a couple more placings. He needs some more points. Carlin right in the back of him, and going up underneath is Darren Gill by the look of it, trying to pick up another place on the orange car over there. We've just lost one lap left to go, and I went back to the leaders and look at the race for second place now with Densley on the inside. We've lost Gill, and the yellow light's on. Yes, I was just watching that really close battle between the two cars for second, and McClure and Densley, I think it was, and Gill has lost it back there with the fellows running a little further behind. That was outside, and two side by side are going to have a problem there. If they hit the Witch's Hat, they're in trouble. So it's still Ricky Clark out in front, Jeremy McClure in second place, Densley, Carlin, Sheen and Hayden. We'll get him this time, and Seville back there having a battle. No, Seville's a lot further back. That was Sparrow in the other nine. The light will be on when they look at the three abreast going through the pit corner, and the little fellow Darren Gill moved up there in front of those. Back with the leaders. I don't think there'll be any great changes between the first two or three. There could be just a little bit further back, as Max Carlin certainly has found the go pedal tonight a lot better than last night. Look at the pressure that he's putting on. Carlin's looking for a few more points here into the Deacon Avenue corner. Carlin's flying in the little Cortino, I think it is, in third place. He's picked himself up into third place in front of Densley, and Paul Sheen almost picked up a placing two back there in about fifth, was it? But that car out in front, Ricky Clark, number 24 on the roof, has had a good win all the way, and it's good to see Jeremy McClure back out there mixing it with the best of them again. Jeremy has raced here at Mildura a lot. You can slow down now, Ricky. The race is finished, mate. But a bit of action right towards the end of that.
Trevor Mills, Russell Brown, Perry McCowett, and Bob Walling. They've got to run him down if he gets a start. Of course, Robotham not going too bad at all. Marie Peden. They come around now. They're looking for a start, and they'll get it. They've got a start. Kearney Thompson pushing very hard out wide straight away, but Atkins leads the way into the first turn. Into turn number 1 as they straighten up now out of turn number 2. Marie Peden's going to take him on down the back straight. She just hasn't got quite enough to get around him. Robotham back there as well as Kearney Thompson, Russell Brown, Millsy, Walling. Further back we've got Perry McCowart, and right down the rear of the field is Ray Cornwall. As we go back to our leader now, look at these cars, they're bunched up, not a lap far between them. We go back to our leader, it's still Greg Atkins leads the way. Greg Atkins leads the way now out of turn number 4. Marie Peden just behind him, Robotham. Kearney Thompson gets a little sideways. Millsy takes him around the outside. Russell Brown keeping up with the pack tonight. He'd be pretty happy with that. He's got Bob Walling right behind him though. Further back to Perry McCowart, and right down the rear of the field is Ray Cornwall. As we go back to our leader now, leads the way across the start-finish line once more. Greg Atkins leads the way. I'll tell you what, they're going to have a battle to run this guy down if he gets enough gap between him and the rest of the cars back there. Marie Peden still sitting back in second position. Robotham. Then we've got Millsy, Kearney Thompson, Russell Brown, Greg Walling, a little further back then to Perry McCowart, and still rounding out the field, car number 25, Ray Cornwall. As we go back to our leader now, there's still no changes. Still no changes in the first 6 or 7 cars there so far, but Millsy tries to make a move around the outside. He's right on the back of Robotham, and Robotham tries to have a little look up the inside of Marie Peden, but not enough horsepower to get past her. As we go back to our leader, Atkins leads the way. Out of turn number 2 now. These guys coming together, Walling and Kearney Thompson coming together now, but they're working their way apart. As we go back to our leader, Atkins leads the way now out of turn number 4. He's still our leader as he goes past the box, one more lap down. Marie Peden still in second spot. Robotham, then we've got Millsy, Kearney Thompson. Walling's worked his way past Russell Brown now. Russell Brown, then we go back to Perry McCowart, and still down the rear of the field is Ray Cornwall. As we go back to our leader now, and I told you they'd have to run this guy down, and I don't think they've got much hope unless he has a problem. Greg Atkins leads the way now into turn number 1. Still, Marie Peden doing very, very well indeed. Still back in second spot. She gets out a little wide. Robotham has a look down the inside. Millsy still back there. Kearney Thompson, Walling. Further back to Russell Brown, McCowart, and I can't even see the other guy. Cornwall, he's right out of it, and if they had enough laps, they'd run him down. We go back to our leader. It's still Atkins. The position's not changing at all there. They're running all in the same position as what they've done for the last couple of laps now. It's still Atkins. Okay, Atkins comes across now. He's on the last lap. Last lap for the last heat, and Atkins leads the way across the line. Peden behind him. Then we've got Robotham. Then further back to Millsy. Kearney Thompson. Walling's going to try to make a move now on the inside of Thompson, but can't do it. As we go back with our leader, he's about to cross the line now. Greg Atkins takes it out. Marie Peden. Then we've got Robotham, Millsy, Kearney Thompson, Bob Walling. Further back then to Russell Brown, Perry McCowart, and rounding out the field will be Ray Cornwall. Nice close racing, Alan, there. Very, very nice close racing.
Good race, that one. I was watching Bob Walling at the rear of the field. He hasn't really had a good weekend. Bob has found it hard to get through the field when he started a little further back.
And, of course, Greg Atkins, once he got out in front, they had to run that guy down, and that's no mean feat at all. Marie Peden did very well.
I was going to say, the thing about that race was Marie Peden and Brett Robotham, a couple that we would have thought perhaps maybe lower lights when we first started off, not big.
And Darren Cockrell.
Paul Salou from Swan Hill, and Wayne Sullivan.
Chris Waters, and here we go. They're going past a little bit quick here.
Watson on the inside of Waters.
Watson on the inside.
Then we had Terry King and David Seville.
Paul Sheen and Kearney Thompson.
Jeremy McClure and Marie Peden.
And ending out the field, Brendan Densley and Bob Walling.
And that's how good the field is. Here's Bob Walling, who has 3 Australian titles to his credit, and a number of state titles in New South Wales, a lot of seconds here in Victoria, and he's starting rear of the field.
And you look at it too, Alan, the current equal record holder for the track, sitting back on, the third last row, Paul Sheen.
About 7 rows back is Paul Sheen, after setting that new record last night, which Spider McCarthy has equalled. This will be the last slow lap, barring restarts. And if we're going to have some stoppages, they most likely will happen fairly early in the race. Remember, it is 35 laps and it's early in the race when everybody's getting pretty excited that we will have any problems. The green flag is up. They are ready to roll. Out of the Deacon Avenue corner, Spider McCarthy on pole position. It looks like a good clean start. And where's Walling? Right at the back, Spider McCarthy and Mills side by side. Mills is going to pick up the local driver, Spider McCarthy, in the first corner, almost around the outside. McCarthy with a little bit more power, and the Commodore has got away. And the next car there of Walling moving up on the inside of the Bendigo driver, Trevor Mills. And look at the bunch of cars at the back. There are no slouches in this field. Remember that. Back in fourth place is Cockerell. I want to keep an eye on Bob Walling at the rear of the field while we're looking at them, just to see if he can get his way through the field in the 35 laps. But back into the Deacon Avenue corner, Spider McCarthy already has opened up a nice little lead over Gregory Walling from Lismore. And the Bendigo driver, Trevor Mills, a little bit further back. Darren Cockerell, Paul Salou from Swanhill up there. Also Atkins, I think it is, a little bit further back. Martin Horson, I can see back in there. Marie Peden. And there's a bunch of cars still fighting it out back there at the rear of the field. They've spread themselves out over almost half a lap now. Spider McCarthy is having that gap closed up a little bit by Gregory Wallings. He's only got a car and a half, maybe 2 car lengths between the two of them. It's Mills a little further back. Going down the back straight, they're spreading out there. There's a battle going on for the minor placings at this stage with Cockerell down there. Paul Salou, he'll take his time and try and work through the field. The only thing is that they don't want to let these other cars get too far in front of them, because it takes a lot of pegging back if we don't have race stoppages, which might get them up. Bob Wallings has picked up about 3 placings at the rear of the field. 1 car down there, I think it was Terry King from Portland, lifting up the front wheel just a little bit. Back with Spider McCarthy leading the field, and he's a long way. Well, he's not a long way in front of the second car, but they are a long way in front of Mills from Bendigo, just a little bit further back. And there's a nice bunch of cars there with Paul Salou on them, in the middle of them, a little further back. Spider McCarthy still in front, and there you go, John.
Okay, I'll take over from here, Alan. Gregory Walling right on his hammer, that not all too far back. Then we go back to Millsy. That's Trevor Mills in the number 8 car. Then we go back to Cockerell. We've got Paul Salou. Oh, look at these guys up in front. Alan's just tapping me on the shoulder. I'm not used to Alan tapping me on the shoulder. I don't know whether I like that too much. We've got a big battle here for the lead position. Spider McCarthy and Gregory Walling, the Commodores, the V6 and the straight 6. These guys are right into it out there in the lead as they go down the back straight now. I'll tell you what, he's going to have to be good to get around Spider and keep in front of him now as they come around out of turn number 4. Then Spider McCarthy holds onto his lead. Matter of fact, he's drawn a car length or so in front. Gregory Walling, then we go back to Millsy. We got Paul Salou, then Atkins, Cockerell, Horson, Chris Waters, Sullivan, a little bit further back then to Watson in 17. Go back to car number 9, which is... we've lost him here.
Chris Waters, of course, the other number 9.
The other number 9.
With David Seville.
Seville, that's the one. How could I miss Seville? We'll go past Seville now. Go back to King. Then we've got Bob Walling, a little bit further back to Coney Thompson, Chris, Paul Sheen, Murray Peden, further back then to McClure. Even further back once again is, I'll hand over to you, Al. You got the paperwork.
Right, John, I don't know if we'll worry about going right back through the field. Look at the leading cars now. Walling's trying to go up on the outside of Spider McCarthy. I think we'll just concentrate on these fellas for a little while. But, John, one thing I did notice, that Bob Walling is moving steadily through the field, and he is not going to finish at the rear of the field. I can tell you, the local Mildura driver, Spider McCarthy, still out in front. He's got that 1 car length between the two of them. The only thing that's going to affect these two, I think, is if there is a race stoppage, and we have one right as I speak, but I'm not sure why.
Walling's picked up 6 places. There's debris on the track on the other side. The car has lost a panel or such.
That's a bit of a pity, because we've had some good clean racing. We've had no bingle, so to speak. There was something back on the track there too. And race stoppages, there's something that race leaders hate, John. He's a real character of Speedway, as Bob Wallings has been around for a long, long time.
Cockerell's dropped back. He was in 2nd position on the grid. He has now dropped back to 6th position. Oh, sorry, he was a
little bit further back.
Not too far back. No, that's right.
Probably not a lot of changes. I think Bob Walling's probably the biggest of the changes at this stage.
Millsy's dropped back.
Righto, the cone is out, John, ready to go.
Watch the lead car as they go past the cone, because it's up to Spider McCarthy. We've got a few. It's broken formation. They're not going to let him go.
Wonder what was going on then, John. The yellow light's still on, so obviously not ready to let them go.
No.
State titles and Australian titles for a long, long way, and having the field caught up to you with race stoppages and then losing the finals.
Now, this is where the cars should bunch up, because if there's too much gap between the cars, or as you see Bob Walling there a fair way back, he actually loses a few spots there.
He's possibly looking at a run-up there, John.
Okay, we're 10 laps down, Alan. 25 laps to go. We're racing once again in the 1994-95 A-modified Victorian title, and Spider McCarthy. A little shunt in the rear then. Looks as though Spider's lost a lot of power, though.
I think he's in trouble, and Cockerell in trouble.
What's happening here? We're under caution.
Spider McCarthy definitely with a problem there, and Bob Walling down here. I didn't see what happened there, but a big dent in the side. Too busy looking at Spider McCarthy, almost like he went out wide, and then it almost looked like he put the brake on, and young Greg Walling
pulling into the centre. Look at this. Cockerell's got a flat tyre down there, Alan. Back in fifth. Okay, Gregory Walling pedal down hard as he's won the start this time. He's way out in front. We've got a spin out. McClure spun out on the other side of the track. Is he going to get going once again? No. Caution once again.
Marie Peden sort of clipped somebody, backed off a little. McClure had to take evasive action and put it around sideways, John.
Here they bunch up now. Okay, Greg Walling pedal down hard as he goes into turn number 3. He leads the race now, the Victorian A-modified title. He's got Millsy right on his hammer though, but look at the power of this V6 Commodore. He draws away a little. Millsy closes the gap a little out of turn number 2, but gets out very wide indeed. That's not where you want to be, Millsy. Paul Salu still back in third, and look at this, round the outside. Chris Waters on the inside, should I say. Chris Waters has snuck through on the inside of Atkins. Sullivan is still back there. And look at Bob Walling. He can't pick these guys up. He's got Seville to get past. But Seville, yes, he gets past Seville now. And here we go. He's going to come up on Atkins. Atkins has dropped off the pace a little there. I'm wondering whether he may have a problem or just got a little spooked as we go back with our leader now. And look, he's opening up a gap. And I didn't think it was possible to open up a gap on Millsy, but he's doing it so far. Gregory Walling's opened up a nice little gap now. He's got a good half a dozen or 8 car lengths or so on Millsy. Trevor Mills in the little Commodore. But Walling leads away now past the box. Millsy in second position. Then we've got Paul Salu from Swan Hill. Further back to Mildura's Chris Waters. Come on, Chris. Hopes of Mildura resting on you now. Let's go, son. Atkins is about being rounded up now by Bob Walling. Bob Walling's moved up. He is in 5th position. No, he couldn't get past. He had a little loss of power or something. Seville got clouded. Seville's dropping right back off the pace. He's got a problem.
Seville seems to have lost everything then with that little clash.
Yes, but Gregory Walling still leads the way.
Righto, Greg Walling coming out of the Deakin Avenue corner now with a great lead, and this bloke has been going well all weekend with the Bendigo driver. Trevor Mills back there, and Paul Salu from Swan Hill. Chris Waters, a local. Greg Atkins from Hamilton, and looking at Bob Salu. We're getting them all mixed up. Bob Walling a little bit further back because I'm trying to keep an eye on Paul Salu out there with my left eye, and Bob Walling with my right as Walling just picked up that spot. But that other bloke won't give it away. He's hanging on and hanging on. Walling's now must be up into about 5th, surely. And he's putting on a great effort. It's in 4th place, indicating... no, I think it's 5th. Going through the Deakin Avenue corner, and look at Walling's, the younger Walling's. Greg opening up a good lead there. Millsy and Paul Salu having a battle of their own a little further back, and Chris Waters in the Falcon trying to close the gap on them. Bob Walling's a little further back from Greg Atkins, then Wayne Sullivan, Kearney Thompson, Paul Sheen, Jeremy McClure, Trevor King from Portland.
Bit of a hole between turns 1 and 2, and Bob Walling got almost airborne when he hit it.
We'll have to keep an eye on that, and look at these two down here. This is in 2nd and 3rd position. We'll watch them going through the pit corner as it's breaking up a little bit down there. Paul Salu, the Swan Hill driver, who is a regular here at Mildura, is hanging right onto the tail of Millsy from Bendigo, and you would have to say that Paul Salu probably has the more power because Mills can't get away, and Salu on the inside. He's got up level. Is he going to pick him up? This is the 2nd and 3rd place getters, and it looks like he's got through on the inside. Paul Salu, he's going to have work though to keep it there. I reckon he looked like he had just a little bit more power, because Trevor Mills could not open up a gap. He could not shake Paul Salou off. And then it's Chris Waters a little bit further back, running in fourth position in fifth, Bob Wallings, then Greg Atkins, and we've lost Kearney Thompson coming through the Deakin Avenue corner. Will he get back into it? Kearney Thompson got around sideways. I think the car was still running. The little light just went out. But we'll know the yellow light is on, and this will close them up, and this will make people like Chris Waters and Bob Wallings particularly happy. Now, it's always interesting when this happens, John. You wonder, would that car have started and kept going, or did they not want it to?
Don't forget,
right on the tail. Wallings will probably try and slow them down. He's got to pick the time that he wants to take off, and there he goes, and he's opened up a good little lead already. It won't take very long. Paul Salou always lifting the inside wheels. We could see anything happen here. It's Trevor Mills a little bit further back. Chris Waters right up there with him. And Bob Walling is it back there, still in fifth place. And Atkins seems to have picked up a little bit of pace from somewhere. Kearney Thompson has just decided that's enough. And on the inside of Waters, Walling trying to get through. Was a little bit of a nudge and almost a nudge from behind. They're a lot closer now. It's going to be a tremendous race. Look at Bob Wallings on the inside of Chris Waters with the NZ car. Wallings has picked him up. We've been saying all along that Bob Wallings was going to finish up in the major placing. It could be Walling 1 and 2 at this rate because he's gradually picked out. I thought Kearney Thompson already pulled off. He's just going through the motions again. Greg Wallings out in front of Paul Salou. 28 Trevor Mills from Bendigo. Then Bob Wallings. Chris Waters is being pressured, but we've lost another one. But she's back on the track and going again. I was watching Chris Waters. Oh, he's lost another position now to Atkins. Chris Waters seems to be going off the pace as well, dropping back through the field. The only local hope, and we call him a local at this stage, appears to be Paul Salou, who's doing pretty well up there, but cannot close the gap up on Greg Walling so he can have a go. And Bob Walling moves through on the inside.
Paul Sheen sideways.
Sheen has gone up on top into the fence. That was Terry King from Portland who went up there just as Bob Wallings moved through. What was I watching down there? There was another change. Wallings must be up into third place.
Jeremy McClure has a lot of damage down there. That'll be the end of his night.
Well, oh, there's McClure over there. Yes, he was the one that...
Brendan Densley mixed up in the centre somewhere. All year. 20 laps down.
20 laps. We seem to be going backwards. So there's still, what was it, 35 laps, so 15 laps left to go. Anything could happen yet. Don't think because Gregory Walling is out in front at the moment, he has won. You might have thought that when Spider McCarthy was out in front.
I certainly thought he was in with a good chance anyway.
It's everywhere, so they need to put a bit of time. Look at
bunch up now. Salou right on the back bumper, but Gregory Walling getting a little jump away there. He seems to have the ultimate power there to pull away, the instant power from the V6. Of course, not being fuel injected like your home family car, this car is actually running carburetor system with a distributor. Gregory Walling leads the way now. Paul Salou. I'll tell you what, Greg's pulled away. He's got a good half a dozen already. Paul Salou still back in second spot. Then we've got Millsy a little bit further back to Bob Walling. And look at Bob Walling. He's going to take on Millsy all around the inside, and he does. He slips through into third position now. Can he hold it around this turn? Turn 2 as he straightens up down the back straight. And now there is only Paul Salou. Paul Salou is the meat in the sandwich at the moment, the Walling sandwich, as Gregory Walling leads away. Paul Salou in second. Then we've got Bob Walling, Millsy, Chris Waters, Atkins, Paul Sheen. King getting, the place is a bit of a rut starting to form down there. There is smoke coming out. Oh, Chris Waters into the fence up in the back straight. We're not used to seeing Chris. Chris is sideways. They've collected him now. He's obviously got a bit of a problem. There's something wrong somewhere.
And Walling's really pushing Paul Salou.
Oh, Walling almost getting up on two wheels, trying to take Salou on the inside. He couldn't do it, though, as they go down the back straight. They bunch up a little now as they go into turn number 3. They come out of turn 4. It's still Gregory Wallings. And look at this on the inside. Bob Walling's almost got Paul Salou. They side to side. Look at this. Oh, we've got problems here.
The yellow light at the other end of the track, and Walling will have to do it all over again because they go back, of course, to the last time they all passed the start-finish line.
Chris Waters, he seems to have a problem.
He's in all sorts of trouble at the moment. That was Terry King from Portland in trouble with him. A bit closer when they took off. He tries to keep right up on Walling. Oh, he's got right in the side of him this time, and he's doing much better. And they're side by side. Paul Salou on the inside. Greg Walling. This is the first time Greg Walling has been pushed in this race. He's gone up high, and Bob Walling's gone through to defend his son's honour. Bob Walling back there in second place, and look at Greg. He's back into third. It's the only time he's been off. the first position for the entire race. Oh, it's getting rough down there now as Bob Walling got right up under Paul Salou. Now Paul Salou has led a major final before in the Australian Championships at Renmark and lost it through poor circumstances at the end of the night. But look at him go now. It's also Millsy trying to close up on Greg Wallings. Well, Greg Wallings has finished his pleasant Sunday afternoon drive. Almost lost another one back there, but I'm not going to take my eye off those first three cars. Look at this, Paul Salou from Swan Hill, Walling right on his tail and Walling right on his tail. Bob Walling going up wide at the Swamp Cafe. He's going to go round the outside through the Deacon Avenue corner. This bloke has got a ton of confidence and he's got his dander up. He certainly has. We've got the Walling side by side behind Paul Salou, the Swan Hill driver, and now it's Gregory Wallings on the inside of Bob Wallings. What a race these blokes had. Millsy's moving up there.
It's a bit like tag team wrestling, Alan.
It certainly is, and Atkins is back into it too. Where's Chris Waters? He's a little further back. And look at this side-by-side racing through the Deacon Avenue corner. Bob Wallings back there now in about fourth place. Paul Salou's still in front. You don't get many finals like this. Salou's got a couple of car lengths over Greg Walling, Trevor Mills from Bendigo.
And look at Millsy.
And yes, he's moving up, and here we go back on the inside. I've lost track of who. It must be Bob Walling back up there again. One of them, how did Wallings get back up in there? And Millsy back at fourth place. Atkins, Chris Waters, Paul Sheen, the other local, Sullivan and Densley at the back. Now it's Walling on the outside of Salou. Salou is doing all he can in his power to hang on to the lead here down the back straight, and he's got the two Walling side by side right on his tail through the Deacon Avenue corner. Come on, Paul Salou, you're holding the honour of Mildura and Swan Hill, all the Victorians there. And around the outside, one Wallings as you go and pick him up. What a race at the moment down the back straight. Paul Salou put the foot down in the Holden. He's opened up a little gap now as the two Wallings, father and son, side by side, and Millsy's right on their tail. These cars a little further back have certainly got into it. Look at Millsy. He's not letting them go. Chris Waters just a little further back off the pace. Atkins in there as well. Look at Atkins move up behind Mills now. And John, you're going to have to be ready to take over in a minute because I've about lost my voice.
There's a lot of pressure here. Paul Salou still leading the race now as they come out of turn number 4. He's got the Wallings, father and son, right on his hammer. But these guys behind, it's as if they don't want the Wallings to catch him. They're doing everything they can to pull these guys up. They're all over the place. The frustration's starting to show now on the Wallings. The Walling team in behind Paul Salou. Come on, Paul, if you hold onto that pole line, you'll do quite well indeed, because they're going to get past you, buddy. You'll be like a brick wall right in front. 3 laps left to go. We've got 3 laps left to go. Come on, Paul Salou. He opens up a little gap now as he goes around out of turn number 2. He opens up a couple more as he goes down the back straight. He'll form into turn number 3 now. We've got the white light. 1 left to go. Come on, Paul Salou from Swan Hill. Come on, Paul Salou, as he goes into turn number 1. And look at this. One of the Wallings is all out of control as he hits a bit of a rut there. This is an all-out effort from Greg Walling around the outside. He goes flat out down the back straight. And look at this. They've rounded up Bob Walling. They've put him off the track. And Paul Salou takes it out.
What a finish!
Swan Hill.
What a finish!
Gregory Walling in second spot, and Atkins takes it.
There will be words, John. There will be words spoken down here, and the Chief Steward is going to be the most popular man because everybody's going to want to talk to him.
They will be fierce words indeed.
What a final 10 laps. That was absolutely incredible driving, incredible racing. Give them all a big hand, and I mean those second and third cars too. Well done, Paul Salou from Swan Hill. Well done to Greg Wallings. A great drive, the man who led most of the way. Bob Walling also, fantastic drive. And these two fellas a little bit further back in Greg Atkins and Millsy. Did they make a finish of it? Absolutely
They've
incredible.
got to do 2 more laps of it because of a race stoppage, I've just been told.
Surely not. Not win it. John, as far as I'm concerned, that race was finished.
Oh, certainly. Certainly was.
There wasn't a stoppage. Those cars were all still going.
I cannot understand why this is happening here.
Every state final we have something like this happen.
But, Alan, it is not for us to choose.
It's not, no. We're just here to call it.
It's why we have the officials. Bob Walling's got the gloves off.
Paul Salou, I could not bear it if they'd done that to you again. And he's waving the flag at Bob Wallings. Paul Salou has had an Australian title taken off him in the past. He wasn't going to let it get away
ladies and gentlemen,
with taking a Victorian title off him. Paul Paul Salou is a very popular man here.
That'll be the most gutsy effort ever seen here, I think, at Timmis for a long time.
He wasn't going to give up. I tell you what, he had to work like hell for those last 10 laps. In fact, for the entire race.
Come on, down the back straight. Show this
Give him
guy.
a cheer. This bloke really worked hard for it. You must feel sorry for Greg Wallings, who led the race for so long. And to those other fellows, Greg Atkins and Millsy, Trevor Mills and Bendigo, who made that final so exciting. We haven't seen anything like that for a long time. John, I better get the microphone down there to those fellows, and I hope they've got all the placings.
Oh, in first position, car number 48, Paul Salou. Second position, car number 23, Gregory Walling. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Oh. Third position, car number 44, Greg Atkins. Third. Don't forget you got the microphone on down there, Alan.
I'll see if I can find Paul Salou for you, John. I think there's still a little bit of discussion going on about the final placings, but I've been waiting a few years to catch up with this bloke after the big win. Paul Salou, come over to your car. You had a big disappointment in Renmark a few years ago. It looked like it was going to be a repeat of that, but you certainly weren't going to move.
No way known was I doing another 2 laps, so I've been robbed at bloody Renmark, and I wasn't doing another 2 laps tonight, especially with these old bastards behind me.
Well, that probably had to be the toughest half dozen or so laps that Paul Salou from Swan Hill has ever endured. I reckon it was some of the best, tightest, maybe a little bit rough, but certainly some of the most exciting racing that we've seen here over about 10 laps. John has given you the placings. I think they are official. There was a lot of people standing around here in amazement, not quite knowing what was going on. I think there might even still be protests. I'm not sure about that. But I think at this stage I might hand over to Alan Jones, who probably is still coming down off a bit of a high. We promised you excitement and we promised you a show. There's still a little bit more to go yet.
No matter what you all think, obviously it was a great race. I'm obviously disappointed because I felt I had as good a chance of winning as anyone else. But to the credit of the other drivers, they passed me, and that was it. I dare say that there was some controversy on some of those other decisions, but all I can say is I got second place, and congratulations to Paul for passing in the last few laps. I would also like to thank you, the sponsors of the meeting, and also the Victorian Speedway Council for putting on such an event with the Mildura Speedway Drivers Club. Everyone in Mildura has been fantastic to help us when we've been down here. All the guys that we've gone around to see when we've had problems, the other competitors have been great, and all the people in the town that have come up and seen us have been much appreciated by us. So thanks to all the people that have cheered. I know you can't support the interstate drivers all the time, but you've got to support the locals. But thanks for all the people that supported myself, for Melita Coffee, Valvoline and Fielders Racing. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. And I think we have a very popular winner here tonight, all the way down from Swan Hill in Paul Salou. Well done, Paul. Well done, Paul.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Victorian Speedway Council, Mildura Speedway Drivers Club. I'd like to thank my wife, Howard, and his wife. I'd like to thank Shane for doing the motor, and I'd like to congratulate the other drivers.
Thanks, Paul. We can have Paul and Greg into the back of the ute, please, for a lap of honour.
Looking for a start. Look at the oil on the track down here, Alan. We've had a bit of a leak. Cars are sitting there. Okay, these guys are out for sheep stations here too. They don't want to finish too far back in the consolation. And Rowbotham leads into the first turn. But around the outside of him, McCaleb slips out. No, he gets out a little bit too wide. And Gill tries it on the inside. He's relegated back to second spot. McCaleb's back in third as they go into turn number 3. Out of turn number 4. And look at them sideways. We've got it coming together. Rowbotham and Gill. Part of Rowbotham stuck on the front of Gill's car. I don't know if he can see too well out there or not. They're going to keep it going as they go around out of turn number 2 now. They go down the back straight. And if you'll notice, part of the front mudguard off Michaela's car is actually stuck on the front of Gill, and there it goes. On the track down there, we've got some debris on the track.
Russell Brown collecting the fence then.
Yes. These guys out here can see we've got debris on the track down here between turn 3 and 4. They're going to let it go. Good on you, Cricky. As we go around now, Gill still leads the way. Gill, and then we've got McCaleb. Yes, McCaleb in behind him. Rowbotham. Then we've got Carlin. Then we've got Sparrow. A little bit further back to Storer. We've got Russell Brown. Graham West. We'll let the other guys battle it out because they're a long way out of it now. We'll go back to these leaders because I'll tell you what, they're running nearly as quick a race as what the first race was, the final. And we go around now and look at Sparrow. Sparrow into the fence there, gives it a little tap on his way past. We go back to our leader now, and it's Gill. Gill leads the way now. He leads it from McCaleb back in second spot, further back to Rowbotham. He's missing a front mudguard there, and it's laying on the track as we know all about that. Max Carlin not all that far back. We go back to Sparrow. Look at the steam out of the front of Sparrow's car. Russell Brown. Then we've got Graham West a little further back in the Tirana. Then we've got Greg Storer. We'll go back with our leaders now as we go down to our leader as he goes past the box one more time. It's Matthew Gill. Matthew Gill in the little Tirana leads away from Phil McCaleb in the Commodore. A little bit further back we've got Rowbotham. Darren Gill. Sorry, Darren, it's not Matthew. As he go back to him once again as he goes between turns 3 and 4. He'll straighten up out of turn 4. This guy very competitive, very unlucky to miss out on the final. A little bit of bad luck instead of some good luck as we go around now out of turns 1 and 2. And this is Michaela. I haven't seen Michaela perform this well all weekend. And he's right on the back of Gill. He's going to have a look around the outside. Not enough room around there or too much room. He gets out the loose stuff, loses a lot of drive. He's going to lose a position here to Rowbotham if he's not lucky. Rowbotham can't get through. Oh, McCaleb gets up on 2 wheels there. Rowbotham comes through on the inside. Rowbotham now in the second spot. Max Carlin's going to try to slip up and take third, but he can't quite get past McCaleb. We've got 1 lap left to go for our leader, Darren Gill. Darren Gill goes into turn number 1 for the last time in this race. Then Rowbotham back in second position, Max Carlin. A little bit further back to Phil McCaleb. Then we've got Dean Sparrow. Oh, look at this. We missed it.
It was the Mazda.
Mel Holt and the Mazda.
It's a rotary Mazda now. I could say it's really rotated.
What do they say? Pistons go up and down, but Mazda rotaries go round and round. Well, there you go.
And there's another one. It was one of the leaders back over the other side, pulled up there. No. Not too sure about it. Looks like McCaleb, doesn't it?
McCaleb it is, yes.
Wasn't looking back there, John. Didn't quite catch that one, but that's the first rollover that we've had tonight. We had 3 of them last night. Bill Orish, could you go to the pit box, please? Bill Orish, I've got a feeling you might be busy for a little while. Bill Orish to the pit box.
Bits hanging off Rowbotham's car everywhere. Missing a mudguard, missing the front spoiler.
Once again, John, the rescue crew and the St John's ambulance people, we like to mention them all the time because they are very quick and do a great job out here. They have been overworked this season. They really have. They've done heaps and heaps of work down there. Now, remember, if you would like a video of this...